Ladies and gentlemen, we all know life isn't a fairy tale. It's not always smooth sailing, and it's certainly not a constant climb to the top. In fact, life has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect them. One moment we feel like we're on top of the world, and the next, a setback knocks us down and leaves us questioning everything. Maybe you faced an unexpected failure in your career, perhaps a relationship you cherished has fallen apart, or a dream that once seemed so close has now slipped out of reach. And in those moments, it's easy to feel like giving up. You feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, or the sting of disappointment clouding your vision. It's like you've reached a dead end, and the light at the end of the tunnel is nowhere to be seen. The pain, the uncertainty, and the fear of never getting back on track, it's all too much. But here's the truth. Setbacks are not the end of your story. They are merely the beginning of a new chapter. Life will test you. That's a given. But how you respond to these tests, how you face your challenges and rise from your failures will determine the rest of your story. I want to ask you something today. When you face a setback, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal growth, what do? Do you let the pain of the moment take over, or do you stand up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward? There's a great truth here, a truth that separates the successful from the unsuccessful, the strong from the weak, and it's this: the greatest comebacks in history were born out of setbacks. In fact, the most inspiring stories you've ever heard, the ones that moved you, that made you believe anything was possible, were written by those who faced insurmountable odds and still found a way to rise. Think about some of the most influential people in history. People like Oprah Winfrey, who was told she was unfit for television, like Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team, like Walt Disney, who was told he lacked imagination. They faced rejection, they felt the sting of failure, but they didn't let it stop them. They used their setbacks as fuel to build comebacks that changed the world. So why does this matter to you? Because you too have the power to transform your setbacks into comebacks. Whatever it is that has knocked you down, whether it's a mistake, a failure, or heartbreak, it does not define you unless you let it. Last but not least, you are capable of rising above your circumstances, of turning your pain into power, your struggles into strengths, and your failures into victories. In today's message, we're going to talk about how to turn those setbacks into comebacks. We're going to dive deep into how to change your mindset, how to take action, how to stay focused, and how to embrace resilience in the face of adversity. Because the only way to truly fail is to give up. And you, my friend, are not a quitter. You're a fighter. And your comeback story starts right here, right now. So get ready. This is not just another motivational speech. This is your guide to transforming your life. This is your comeback moment. And it all starts with a decision you make right now to keep going no matter what life has thrown at you. Let's dive into the power of your comeback mindset, because your comeback is waiting for you. The power of a comeback mindset life has a way of knocking us down when we least expect it. One moment everything seems to be going smoothly, and the next you're hit with a setback that feels impossible to overcome. Maybe it's a failure in business, a broken relationship, a financial crisis, or even a personal struggle that shakes your confidence to the core. In those moments, it's easy to feel like giving up. It's easy to let frustration, fear, and doubt take over. But here's the truth. Setbacks are not the end of your story. They are just a chapter. And how you respond to them will determine whether you stay down or rise up stronger than before. Think about this. Every great success story has a moment of failure, a moment when giving up seemed like the easiest option. But those who achieve greatness are the ones who refuse to let setbacks define them. They don't see failure as a stopping point, they see it as a stepping stone. So the first step in turning a setback into a comeback is shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, what can this teach me? Every setback carries a lesson, and if you choose to learn from it rather than dwell on it, you're already on your way to a comeback. Your mind is the battlefield. If you allow negativity, self-doubt, and fear to take over, you'll stay stuck. But if you feed your mind with belief, resilience, and determination, you'll find the strength to rise again. Take a moment to think about some of the most successful people in history. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling faced multiple rejections before publishing Harry Potter. What do they all have in common? They refuse to let failure define them. They turn their setbacks into fuel for an incredible comeback. So ask yourself, what is my mindset right now? Are you allowing your setback to break you, or are you using it to build you? The way you think determines the way you act. If you believe your setback is permanent, you'll stay in the same place. But if you see it as a temporary challenge, you'll find the motivation to push forward. Your comeback starts the moment you decide that failure is not the end of the road. It starts when you choose to keep going despite the obstacles. This isn't about ignoring the pain of setbacks, it's about using that pain as motivation. Remember, your current situation is not your final destination. This setback is simply a setup for something greater. But it starts with you believing that you are capable of coming back stronger, taking action and rebuilding after setbacks. When you've been knocked down by a setback, it's easy to feel like you've lost control. Your confidence may be shattered and your vision for the future may seem clouded. The emotional weight of failure can be heavy, and sometimes it feels like you'll never be able to rebuild what you've lost. But let me tell you something vital. Setbacks are not permanent unless you allow them to be. Your journey is not over, and rebuilding after a setback is not only possible, it's the beginning of your comeback. The key to turning a setback into a powerful comeback is action. When life gets tough, it's easy to fall into a cycle of inaction, where fear and uncertainty keep you paralyzed. You may want to retreat, avoid the situation, or give up entirely. But this is the moment when you need to do the opposite. You need to take that first step forward, no matter how small, and keep moving. Here's the truth. Action breeds momentum. When you take action, even if it's a tiny step, you start to break free from the grip of fear and doubt. You're telling yourself that you're not going to let this setback define you. You're making a choice to rebuild. But how do you begin? The first thing you need to do is reset your focus. When a setback hits, it's easy to get lost in the details of everything that went wrong. You replay the mistakes, the losses, the missed opportunities in your mind over and over. But focusing on what went wrong only drains your energy and keeps you stuck in the past. Instead, shift your focus to what's ahead. Ask yourself, what's next? What is your vision for the future? What goals do you still want to achieve? What are the first steps you can take today to start rebuilding? Reconnecting with your goals and your purpose will give you a clear path forward, and it will reignite your motivation to keep moving, no matter the obstacles. The second step is break your comeback down into smaller actions. Often after a setback, the idea of rebuilding can feel overwhelming. The road ahead may seem too long, the challenges too many, but don't let that paralyze you. Instead, focus on breaking your comeback down into manageable steps. Each small action you take brings you one step closer to your ultimate goal. Whether it's making a phone call, sending an email, or setting a daily routine, small actions lead to big results. Next, don't try to do this alone. Surround yourself with support. A comeback is never a solo journey. You need people who believe in you, who will encourage you, and who will help you see the bigger picture when you get caught in the weeds. Seek out mentors, friends, or family members who can provide guidance and inspiration. The right support system can make all the difference when you're rebuilding after a setback. And finally, embrace resilience. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about bouncing back stronger each time you face it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, learn, and become more resilient. When you face a setback, remind yourself that this is not the end. This is your moment to become stronger, smarter, and more determined. The pain you feel now will only make you appreciate your success later. Your comeback is within reach, but it starts with action. So get back up, take that first step, and keep moving forward. You've already shown you can overcome challenges. Now it's time to rebuild and come back stronger than ever, staying focused and committed to your comeback. By now, you've taken the crucial first steps in rebuilding after a setback. You've started taking action, reconnected with your goals, and broken down the process into smaller, manageable steps. You've gathered the support you need, and you've begun embracing resilience. Now comes the next important part of your journey, the part where you stay focused and commit to your comeback, no matter how many challenges come your way. You see, the road to success is rarely a straight line. There will be bumps, detours, and setbacks along the way. And even though you've taken those first steps toward your comeback, you will face moments of doubt and fear. There will be times when the weight of the challenges feels overwhelming, and when it seems like the universe is testing your resolve. That's the point where many people give up. They feel like the comeback isn't worth it, or that they've already worked too hard without seeing enough progress. But this is where you must remain different. Staying focused on your comeback requires an unshakable commitment to your goals. It means deciding once and for all that you are not going to stop just because things get hard. It's about building a mindset that says, no matter what happens, I will keep moving forward. Focus on the bigger picture. The dream you have, the goals you're working toward, and the life you envision. Every setback, every struggle, every obstacle, and every challenge is part of the process, not a reason to quit. To stay focused, you must also learn the importance of consistency. Success isn't always about making huge dramatic leaps forward. More often than not, it's about the small, consistent actions that add up over time. You don't need to see the full path laid out before you. You just need to keep taking one step forward each day. No matter how small the steps seem, they all lead somewhere. The key is to keep showing up. The comeback may not happen overnight, but it will happen as long as you keep moving, even when you don't see immediate results. Another essential factor in staying committed to your comeback is the ability to maintain your mental toughness. Life will test your perseverance. There will be days when it feels like things are getting worse instead of better. On those days, your mental strength will be the thing that keeps you going. You need to remind yourself that failure is not the end. It's simply part of the journey. Your strength lies in your ability to keep going despite the doubts, the fatigue, and the discouragement. Every time you face a challenge and keep moving forward, you're building mental toughness that will serve you well in the future. One of the most important tools for staying focused is visualization. Regularly visualize the life you want. Picture yourself achieving your goals, standing tall after overcoming every obstacle, and enjoying the fruits of your hard work. Visualization strengthens your commitment by keeping you connected to your why, the reason you're doing all this in the first place. When the going gets tough, it's your vision of success that will fuel your determination to keep moving forward. Lastly, remember that comebacks are not about perfection. The path to success is not linear, and there will be moments when things don't go according to plan. What truly matters is your response. Stay flexible and adapt to changing circumstances. Keep your eyes on your goals, but allow yourself the grace to adjust when necessary. Flexibility doesn't mean giving up. It means staying committed to your destination, even if the path takes unexpected turns. So, as you continue on this journey of comeback, stay focused, stay consistent, and never lose sight of your vision. Your comeback will require hard work, resilience, and mental toughness. But most importantly, it will require a commitment to keep going, no matter how many setbacks you face. You've come so far already. The only thing left is to keep going, because on the other side of this comeback, there is a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before.